And so, dear ladies and gentlemen, we start our first press conference of today, round 4 in the candidates tournament in London, and the game between Levon Aronian and Peter Svidler just finished in a draw. Let's say it was not so long game, and can you say, Peter, that it was a matter of preparation, that you didn't face many problems?
Yeah, I think that's a fair description. Yeah, this is actually not such a straightforward line, but with some precision, black tends to equalize if white goes for the pawn grab. So I suspect the critical lines are somewhere where white ignores the pawn for a while. But as it happened in the game, after queen e2 castles, white has two opportunities here. White can take on a6 straight away and play this position. Rook b1, knight b1, and queen a8. The pawn is not won back immediately, but there's a lot of play against the a4, obviously, and in general, it's kind of nice to. I mean, the black just has the better pieces here, obviously, with the bishops gone, and the position Levon got after bishop b2 c5. Well, white can try not taking on a6 here, but frankly, I'm already kind of threatening bishop c6, so it's not clear what he should do if he doesn't. So. Takes, rook a8, queen b5 is almost the only move, rook a5. Once again, I think queen b3 is the only chance. But here, yeah, this is a very precise idea. Black plays queen a8, rook b8, and then just takes on d4, opening up more files for the rooks. And I couldn't quite remember, unfortunately, what's happening after bishop takes d4. This was giving me some slight problems, because I was fairly sure this is how the line goes, but the answer as to what to do after bishop takes d4 was eluding me, but I think black should be okay anyway here.
Yeah, I actually saw too.
Yeah, and the idea Levon mentioned, I think, is maybe very decent. Just play e5, and after bishop c3, rook c5, and
or even rook b4 looks good.
Yeah, I was also considering this. Yeah, rook b4, bishop c3, rook c5. This is also possible. Yeah, but I would have to stop and think here, because black has really a lot of opportunities here. There's also a somewhat strange-looking move, queen a6, which might also hold comfortably, because actually rook a8 is a huge threat, which is very difficult to meet. It's very difficult for white to somehow restructure his pieces so that the pawn on a4 is not falling. So after bishop takes d4, I would have to consider my options, but I think objectively the position is a draw. And after knight d4, rook c8, it's just a dead draw, because black just takes very comfortably, takes on a4 within the next two moves. So nice to have a half a rest day today. Not, I mean, somewhat nicer for me than it is for Levon, I'm sure, but. For me, it is fairly nice, yeah.
So, Levon, your opinion about this game and rook b8, was it a novelty for you?
Yeah, I mean, in general, this line is very rare, and I somewhat forgot what was my intention was, and I was trying to remember during the game, but I failed. It is obvious that I failed to remember, and the correct, precise way to pose at least a little bit of problems. And when Peter played c5, okay, I saw his threat bishop c6, and I thought that maybe I should play a rook fc1.
Yeah, but after bishop c6, what do you do?
Yeah, I felt it's yeah. Somehow.
I think it's very close to being, I mean, sort of very, very dead by this point.
Yeah, perhaps.
Because after rook c1, bishop c6, once again, it's very difficult to imagine how you're going to keep the pawns on the board. And if you can't, really, there's not much for me to worry about. Maybe something like rook c1, bishop c6, bishop b3, but it looks very artificial.
Yeah, I sort of didn't like it so much.
Yeah, I don't know. This wasn't the focus of my attention this morning, so I can't. I'm not sure I should be telling, you know, the world at large what the lines here are anyway, even if I could remember. But frankly, this line was like number 5 on the list of stuff to repeat today, and I didn't actually even get to it. So I was lucky that what happened in the game was the one beat I remembered fairly well.
Which number of your your line of preparation was it today, Levon?
Queen's Gambit accepted. Don't tell me it was in the top 10. I will start looking for spies.
Yeah, I should say that it definitely wasn't.
That's a very good phrasing, actually. I quite like this phrasing. I should say. Yeah.
So maybe there are some questions. Do we have some questions about this game and some other questions? Everything is clear.
Actually, I mean, I understand this wasn't particularly exciting, but I have to tell you that before we settled on this particular setup, we spent quite a lot of time trying and failing to equalize, because generally people would try putting the rook on a7 so that the pawn on a6 doesn't hang. And there was, for instance, a game between Karyakin and Dubov during the last year's CES Super Final in which White had a very serious advantage at one point. So, generally speaking, I mean, the end result is a somewhat boring draw with the board completely clean by move 20, but you still need to get there somehow.
So, Peter, you want to say that this was a little game, but a big step for humanity?
No, not a huge step for mankind, but I mean, I feel obliged to try and point out that a lot of work goes into something as seemingly insignificant as this.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And so what are you going to do in this half of the day which you get now? You want to rest or prepare for another match?
I think I'll put the emphasis on resting. I think, yeah. Generally speaking, I'm trying to do that here more than anything else.
One of the Japanese listeners asked me about third move a6. They said some people consider a6 is the best move, best response on knight f3.
Well, it's
What can Levon say? Obviously, I'll ask you as well, Peter. But Levon, what do you think about that?
I will just rapidly repeat the question because sometimes we don't hear it on the video. So the question was about the a6 move that some players believe that it's the best move in this position.
Well, I mean, it's certainly logical. He's trying to exchange as many pawns as he can. So
also it's very important in that it allows somebody like me to limit the amount of lines you need to study, because if you allow the main line Queen's Gambit accepted, you will have to work quite a lot. So this is a kind of a time-saving move as well.
Yeah, because it's not your main it's less.
Yeah, I used to play the Queen's Gambit accepted in the late 90s, but that was like 3 lifetimes ago, and I can't remember anything.
Thank you. Do we have some other questions? Yeah, please. So, I will translate. Levon, you don't look disappointed after this draw today. So, can you say that this draw didn't change much in your tournament situation, and don't you try to win, to get as many points as possible playing with White?
Ну, мне кажется, в таких турнирах главное стараться не проиграть, а выиграть белыми. Приятно выиграть и белыми, и черными, но тут соперники все-таки не в парке играем.
Okay, I believe in this tournament it's important not to lose. That's the most important thing. But okay, it's nice to win as with white piece, the same with black. So, and the players, my opponents are not so weak. We are not playing in the park. This was a good answer.
It's a bit of a silly question to Peter. I know you said you're a little bit fed up with people commenting on your appearance. The other day you were wearing a bright green shirt, today bright orange. Do you like bright colors?
Yeah.
The question was about.
I'm completely stumped. Yeah. Thank you. Well, basically, since we are on this subject, at some point I had to. Well, not. This was actually very sound advice. Not that I was planning to do it anyway, but this was very sound advice given to me by Mr. Paulson on the day of the opening ceremony. He told me that remember not to throw out all the stuff you used to wear, which you now completely fall out of, because the day will come when you will need those clothes. But at some point I did have to go out and buy sort of a completely new wardrobe, and that was the palette I settled on, and I think it's fine, but I mean it's open to discussion, obviously. Clearly, I would say it's open to discussion.
What colours are coming up next?
There's lots.
Isn't
You always clash with your pieces.
It's very difficult not to clash with the pieces. I mean, if you try not to clash with the pieces, you kind of limit yourself to monochrome world, you know.
does it somehow connected with the mood which you have, let's say, which
Not
goes
really,
across
no.
you
I'm
two?
just rotating them.
And the same for you, Levon? Because you have your own style.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully people will talk about my style over the board, not outside of it.
No, not a chance. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you. And other questions?